6C, question 5. If I'm going to start with the first question, we have sec theta is equal to √2. We want to solve this equation in radians in between 0 and 360 degrees. So if I start to rewrite sec theta as 1 over cos theta is equal to √2. I can put this √2 over 1. If I'm going to do a cross multiplication, I can rewrite this as cos theta 1 over the √2. Now I would like to use a calculator. If I'm going to use a calculator, I get the inverse of cos is cos minus 1 over √2. And I use a calculator, I get this as equal to 45 degrees on my calculator. Now I'm going to use the quadrants to read all my values. So we have all sine, tangent, and cosine. We would like to find all the values where cos is therefore positive. Cos is positive in a first and in a fourth quadrant. So I'm going to draw angles with the horizontals. These angles are going to be 45 degrees. And I'm going to read out all my solutions from here. So my first solution is the one given on my calculator, which is 45 degrees. 45 degrees. The second will be therefore 360 minus 45. So we get the second value as 315. Now these are all my solutions in between 0 and 360 degrees. Now let's do part B. For part B we have cosec theta as equal to -3. If I'm going to think of cosec theta is 1 over sine theta as equal to -3 over 1. So sine theta we get as 1 minus 1 over 3. If I'm going to find the angle, I'm going to solve this in degrees, -1 over 3. So if I use a calculator, we get our value of our calculator to 2 decimal places as minus 19.47 degrees into 2 decimal places. Now I would really like to use all my quadrants and I need to read where sine is negative. So if we do the quadrants, we have all sine, tangent, and cosine. We would like to read where sine is negative. So sine is negative into the third and into the fourth quadrant. The angles with the horizontals will be 19.47 as well as 19.47. We would like to read all our values in between zeros. If I go this direction, I'm reading all my positive values. And I'm going to read my first value is 180 at 19.47. And we can use a calculator to do that. 180 19.47, we get the final answer is therefore 199.47. And we want to work out the next value. The next value it's got to be 360 minus 19.47. So 360 minus 19.47. This is going to give us 340.53, but we want our answers. The question doesn't tell us, but we want the answer to 3 significant figures. So our first one is 199 and 341, the answers to 3 significant figures. Okay, let's do part C. For part C, we have 5 cos theta as equal to -2. Now, it will be useful to rewrite this as divide by on both sides by 5. So if I write cot theta is -2/5, and I'm going to rewrite in terms of tan theta this. Tan theta is -2/5. If I'm going to get tan theta is -5/2, and I'm going again to use a calculator to work out the angle to 2 decimal places, -68.20 to 2 decimal places, and this is in degrees. If I do again the quadrants, as I have all sine, tangent, and cosine at this point, we would like to look into where tan is therefore negative. Tan is negative into the second and fourth quadrant. So we want the angles with the horizontals in here, 68.20, 68.20, and we want to read all our angles from 0 in a positive direction. So the first one is 180 minus 68.20. So the first angle, if I use a calculator and I want to give my answer into 3 decimal places for part C. So we want where tan is therefore negative, and we have the first answer we get. So if we do 180 minus 68.20, we get the answer as to 3 significant figures. Make sure you use the calculator 112. This is our first answer. The second answer is going to be 360 minus 68.20, rounded to 3 significant figures, is 292. As to 3 significant figures, these are the answers. Part D, we have cosec theta as equal to 2. We can rewrite cosec as 1 over sine theta as 2/1. So sine theta is 1 over 2. If I'm going to use a calculator, we get the angle on our calculator will be 30 degrees. We do the quadrants, we have all sine, tangent, and cosine. We want where sine is therefore positive. Sine is positive in the first and into the second quadrant. We want the angles with the horizontals as 30 degrees, and we would like to read all the angles in between all the values in between 0 and 360 degrees. The first one is 30 degrees. The second one is 150 degrees. Right, let's do A, B, C, D. We want to do E. We have 3 sec squared of theta minus 4 for part E. 3 sec squared of theta minus 4 as equal this to 0. So if I'm going to start to rearrange, we get 3 sec squared of theta is equal to 4 sec squared of theta as 4/3. Now, if I'm rewriting sec as 1 over cos theta as 4/3, we get cos squared, obviously. So cos squared of theta is going to give us 3/4. We get, then therefore, when we square root, we get cos theta as minus root 3/2, as well as cos theta as root 3/2. We do need to solve for both of them. So if we start with cos theta is minus root 3 over 2. If I'm going to inverse and I'm going to work out minus over. So we got the angle as 150 degrees on our calculator. This is our first angle. So if I'm going now to do the quadrants, we have all sine, tangent, and cosine. We would like to read the values where this angle is negative, cos is negative, into second and the third quadrant. So we want these angles with the horizontals to work out this angle with the horizontal, but we know the first angle as given on our calculator, this is 150. So this angle must be 30 degrees. We want to read out all the values. So the first angle is the 150 given on our calculator. The second angle is going to have to be 180 plus 30 degrees. So 180 plus 30 degrees is 210 degrees. And I'm not going to go over 360. That's one solution. We do get a second set of solutions from where? From cos theta as root 3 over 2. So if I work out using a calculator, we get root 3 divided by 2. We get this is going to be on our calculator 30 degrees. If I do the quadrants and we have all sine, tangent, and cosine, we do get where the cos is positive into this first and fourth quadrant. We want the angles with the horizontals to be 30 degrees. So if I read the first value is 30 degrees, the one given on a calculator, the second value must be 360 minus 30 is 330 degrees. Put all those values together. These are all your solutions.